love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will. And today's episode is the very popular segment known as Flip Watch. Yes, Flip Watch. I had originally done one about a few weeks ago on DJ Pickett possibly becoming a Miami Hurricane after committing to LSU. And today's is a very popular wide receiver that everybody would like on their roster next season from the class of 2025. It is Dallas Wilson. Yes, Dallas Wilson, 6'3", 195 pounds. Okay, he's the 8th best wide receiver in the recruiting cycle of 2025, and he's the 5th best player in the state of Florida. A flat-out stud, a 5-star recruit from Tampa Bay Tech in Tampa Bay, Florida. In 2023, okay, he caught 49 balls, 872 yards receiving, 9 touchdowns, okay? This season so far, he's only played in 5 games, 21 catches, 298 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he's still having a pretty good year, a pretty solid year as well. And we'll get to exactly what I think if he's going to stay at Oregon, stay committed to Oregon, or sign with Miami. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but I just want to go over him a little bit. First things foremost, I want to break him down. He is absolutely, first things foremost, he's long and tall. Okay, he's long and tall, 6'3". Joshua Moore, 6'4". We could tell right now the kind of body type the Miami Hurricanes are trying to recruit for this recruiting cycle at wide receiver. Okay, 6'3". Okay, he's very long, like I said, long, very tall. All right, he's very polished. Okay, a sweet route runner. All right, as far as running routes goes, slants, wheel routes, go routes. Okay, as well, hitches, hooks. He's great at route running. Right, unbelievable route running as well. He can break tackles, elite speed, as well. Could catch a ball over anybody as well. Very dangerous in the red zone, but very dangerous. Period. Okay, he's the type of guy like Jeremiah Smith that he's not only tall, right, but he's also a guy that's very elusive. And if you play a man on man, you're in trouble because he's got good hands and good footwork, and he can beat your corner. And if your safety's not in the right place, it's 6 points, folks. That's how good Dallas Wilson totally is. Okay, like I said, he's fast, breakaway speed. He also has a very solid vertical jump as well in red zone situations. Him and Joshua Moore on opposite sides of each other is very deadly because on the fade route, who are you going to cover? Who are you going to cover? Because both those guys can flat out jump over you. All right. And if you do decide to split your safeties or put coverage on the outsides, it leaves the middle open for another touchdown from one of the slot receivers, tight ends, or any of the H-backs, etc., that leak out into the end zone. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, if you have both these individuals on your football team. So Dallas Wilson, again, is an absolute beast, and he is a guy the Miami Hurricanes are coveting. Supposedly, he shut down his recruitment, and he's 100% fully committed to Ohio State, but we can't always believe these young men because there have been times where they do flip. I'll give you an example. Elijah Menendez, from what I understand, and I believe what I read once, he was shutting his commitment down, and guess what? He decommitted, and now he's committed to Auburn. All right, so that's you got to go with the information the way it goes. And yes, he recently visited Oregon, but he's taken to unofficial visits. He took an official visit on June 7th, okay? And he took another official visit about a week later as well, also in June. He's taken unofficial visits in March 23rd and also another unofficial visit on July 27th as well. So he likes Miami. I mean, that is something that he does like. This offense this year has proven that it uses the wide receivers the right way. And the wide receivers this year are flat out balling this year, from Xavier Restrepo to Zay Horton to Jacoby George as well. Even Sam Brown, is getting his hands on the football as well. And they're even willing to play their young receivers. We have seen JoJo Trader out there. Not a lot, but we've seen him out there play a little bit. I do expect a little bit more of JoJo maybe as the season progresses, because you can't just keep that Ferrari on the bench, or in the garage per se. So I do think that this is a good school for Dallas Wilson to take a look at, all right, all right. So I don't fully believe he shut down his recruitment, but I will say this, though. I do think if he does flip, if he does go somewhere, it's going to be the Miami Hurricanes, just because of what we've seen this year with Cam Ward, how we've seen the receivers be utilized. Emory Williams as well is a very capable quarterback of leading an offense. And of course, Reese Poffenbarger, That's going to be a major battle between the two. This offseason, as you will see Reese versus Emery for that QB1 spot once Cam Ward finishes and decides to go to the NFL as well. I do think Emery's is going to win at QB1. I think Emery is really good. He's not as athletic as Reese Poffenbarger is, but I do think he's a heady quarterback. He's got a beautiful deep ball. All right, that deep ball he threw against Ball State, where Elijah Lofton caught that touchdown. That is a master clinic on how to throw a deep ball, and Emery Williams has got it. So I do think Emery is probably going to be QB1. That's just my opinion. It could change, and I'm not in practice, but I do think Emery is the next man up. Then you got Luke Nickel coming in as well. Luke Nickel, who's rock solid, committed to the Canes. Nobody else is going to touch him either. So I don't think there's a chance of a flip of Luke going anywhere. So you get Luke Nickel coming in, and Luke is just that guy. He's a flat-out stud and a good leader. So I think the Canes are in a good position, but I do think, and this is where people might get mad at me, I do think he might stay. He's probably going to stay with Oregon, only because Oregon has been doing it has been doing it longer. I will say this, and when Dylan Gabriel leaves to go to the NFL, you have Dante Moore waiting in the wings, and Dante Moore is a pretty capable quarterback. Oregon recruits well. NIL is also a big deal over there, as Phil Knight is opening the checkbook to the NIL collectives to get basically any player they want, because he wants a national championship to come to Oregon before he passes away. So those are things that I do think Miami is going to be fighting against. But I will say this, though. Miami really is in his ear, and I do think he's listening, as you can tell from the official visits and the unofficial visits as well, that he does like the university. Kevin Beard is a great recruiter, as we saw him flip Joshua Moore into from Florida over to Miami as well. So Kevin Beard is not stopping. Mario Cristobal is not stopping. So if there is a flip, I do think Dallas Wilson will flip to Miami. I don't think he's going to flip anywhere else and leave Oregon. But I do think he's going to stay with Oregon, only because I just think that situation right now is a bit more consistent. Miami's almost there. All right. If last year we would have like a 9-win season and then have the season we're having now, which I do think, I can't see us not going undefeated, because I do think that we're just better than everybody else that we're currently playing. Can't say that because it's any given Saturday, and we've almost had 2 losses. But if the defense tightens up, okay, and they play the way they played against the Gators, everybody else, and the secondary gets itself squared away and doesn't miss any assignments, there's no one stopping Miami. The only one that can stop Miami is Miami. Okay? But right now, Oregon just happens to be that team that, they've been there. And so with Bo Nix, now with Dylan Gabriel as well, and then later next year with Dante Moore. That's why I think he's going to stay an Oregon commit. But if he does flip, guys, he will flip to the Miami Hurricanes. All right, guys, that's it for me. Short and straight to the point. By the way, Oregon did have a huge victory. Against Ohio State. They won 32-31. So Oregon is going to easily jump to the number 2 team in the country as well. Since Texas ain't going anywhere. Texas throttled Oklahoma, so they're not going anywhere. So Oregon ends up being the number 2. Is going to end up being the number 2 team in the country. That's something also that I think Dallas Wilson is also noticing, that they're a top 5 team now of the last couple seasons. Okay, ladies and gents, if you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. Once again, I am Will. Stay safe. God bless. Go Canes, guys. All about the U. Bye-bye.